It is 6/11, July 11, 2019, and I want to thank everybody for your attendance. Thank you for bearing with us. I know we're starting a little bit late. And at this moment, I'm going to have each board member call out their name and being present.
Juan Roberto Ramirez, board member.
There we go. Ricardo Rodriguez, present.
Alisa Riveros, president.
And myself, Ramiro Velez. We do have a quorum at the moment. And the meeting has been duly called, and the notice of the meeting has been posted in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act. And we'll jump in, agenda item, information items. Item 8, discussion and information regarding 2019-2020 budget workshop.
Yes, Mr. President, members of the board, again, I want to thank you for being with us today, and obviously the audience. Also, we have our employees and our staff, teachers and administrators. And I know we're going to start off with Ms. Benavides sharing some information of really how we got to where we're at today. So, and then we'll move from there. Ida?
Good evening, members of the board, members of the audience. There seems to be a lot of interest in this topic, so I'll get started. The first slide, let me get my bearings here. So the first slide, I'm just telling the board, right, it's a TA requirement under Texas Education Code for us to prepare a budget by August 20th. We are a school district with our fiscal year end is August 31st. We need to adopt a budget by August 31st, and we have 3 funds, the general operating, debt service, and food service, that we need to adopt at a fund and function level. And then the board needs to adopt a tax rate to support the budget. How we got here, this is our calendar of events. October through January, we worked very carefully with the planning department and Mr. Garza on enrollment projections, facility usage. Staff starts reviewing revenue and expenses. And then starting around January 8th this year, we had the 86th legislative session start. February through April, we held our staff meetings, again, based on those enrollment projections. We had some campus trainings, department meetings, all based on the budget. And then this session ended on May 27th, and during all this time, we were getting updates from different groups that we belong to as far as what was happening in Austin. And one thing that we kept on hearing coming out was compensation, revenue. I think they were all wanting to do the right thing for public education, which was very different from the session 2 years ago. So we were pleased to start hearing those things. June, we had our budgets due to finance. July and August, we'll be doing these workshops and meetings as necessary. July 25th, we should get our certified tax roll from the Webb County Appraisal District. And then we will publish a notice of a public meeting on August 11th, and then have a public hearing on August 21st, and then adopt the budget hopefully that evening. And then this budget would be in effect on September 1st, 2019. House Bill 3, which had been the main bill that came out of the session, which this was a combination of what the House voted on and what the state and the Senate voted on. And this is where they came to terms on our revenue and what to do about tax relief for our taxpayers. And so we did see an increase in our basic allotment to $6,160. School districts were funded at $5,140. And then we got some money, a little bit of money for special ed, for other special student populations. They extended career technology. They're giving us some funds for college, career, military readiness. And however, they did also remove our high school allotment and no money for gifted and talented as well. So the local revenue, there was a big discussion about tax relief for our taxpayers. And what we're seeing is that we need to compress or bring down our M&O tax rate from $1.04 to 93 cents, and we're given the opportunity to use 4 cents for what they call golden pennies. So the new tax rate for M&O will be 97 cents. So we're bringing the M&O tax rate down by 7 cents. And then there's some further compression of the tax rate in 2021. The general fund revenue, this is where you'll see that we have gotten preliminary tax values of $18.3 billion. We got these from the appraisal district back in April. And then we're seeing the property value increases about 7.3%. And again, we're going to have to propose to reduce the M&O tax rate from $1.04 to 97 cents. And actually, this is a taxpayer saving. This is true savings to our taxpayers of over $12.4 million. So they should see some savings. The state revenue, again, we're calculating it based on this new law. We're using 43,090 as our student enrollment. Just to give you an idea, last fall, when we submitted our PEIMS, we were at 43,364. So we're being conservative, but we think it's a good number. General fund expenditures right now, without any board-approved raises or health insurance increases, we're at $365,327,433. And then you'll see the amount where our payroll is, $314.9 million. We've added 20 additional campus positions, all based on staffing guidelines and special program needs. And then we've added 7 support positions as well to this budget. We have a non-payroll cost of $50.3 million. We added some utility money to cover some of the new schools that we've been opening. And our plan is to propose a balanced budget for 2019-2020. Our debt service fund, which is one of the funds that you have to, that we will be presenting as a budget to pass as well, is made. We are going to be selling $88 million in bonds probably next week. The market looks good for borrowers. Just to let you know that we still are below, we're below the expected taxes that we were going to increase when we did our bond election in 2013. We told our taxpayers that we would be increasing our tax rate by almost 13 cents, and at this point we've only increased it by a little less than 6 cents. So we're pleased with that. And we feel after our numbers, when we sell next week and see what the market conditions are, we'll come with a better amount. Once we close our bond sales, we'll know exactly how much we need in IMS tax rate. It may be 2 cents, it may be 1.5 cents. I don't think it'll be more than 2.2 cents that we would have to increase it. And then here's just that we do plan to bring a balanced budget for this particular budget. Our debt service payment is expected to be at about $41.4 million. The Child Nutrition Fund is another fund that we have to bring to you for review and approval. And right here you'll see that they're projecting $27.7 million in revenue and expenses. However, I think we're trying to see what compensation, if any, is approved this evening, and they would add this to their budget as well. And then they do plan to bring a proposed balanced budget for your approval as well. So the rest of the summer, based on tonight's board actions, this evening, staff will update budget numbers to reflect any decisions made tonight. We'll hopefully receive our certified tax rolls in about 13 days or so. Publish the 10-day notice on August 11th. We'll hold a public meeting or hearing right before the board meeting on August 21st. And then we'll present a proposed budget for adoption during hopefully the regular board meeting, and the proposed tax rate as well. So that is my presentation at this time. And
That's basically on item 8, which is informational item, just to keep the board abreast of already where we're at and where we're going. So
I have a quick question, ma'am. Going back to the local revenue and the tax rate compression, I know you mentioned that the taxpayers are going to see a true savings around 12.4 million, or more or less. I know in
Right.
it's not a definite figure. Is that going to be for this upcoming year, or that's you're calculating for?
they should see that in the tax statement they get this October. Now, they'll vary from homeowner to homeowner, just depending on if their values grew, if their values shrank. But pretty much we are made to reduce our tax rate by 7 cents. And that's a pretty big reduction in the tax rate. So they should, I think, feel something, or see something, some relief.
Do you foresee that that rate is going to be maintained at that amount, or is that
Well,
something that-
actually, the next year, the 2021 year, they're having us compress it a little bit more, and it looks like another reduction of about 2 cents, right, to bring it down to about 95.6 cents. So they're really putting tax relief into the not the economy, but into that House Bill 3. They put like $6.5 billion of tax relief in there. So.
Any question?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for the presentation. so we'll move to agenda item 4, action item. 4A to be approval of employment compensation increases for the 2019-2020 school work year.
Yes, Mr. Bennis, again, I'm going to let Ms. Benavides start the meeting, and we'll come back and share with you, our recommendation for proposed pay raises for all our employees. So, yes, sir.
This again has to do with House Bill 3, just to give you a little bit of background on it. One of the main topics that was discussed at the Senate and the House level was compensation for public educators, and so we know the Senate had their version and the House had their version, and again, they came together on House Bill 3, kind of met in the middle. And this is kind of the results of what they came up with. And I know this is very wordy, but just kind of to bring it down to, what it means for United ISD. It said a school district must use at least 30% of the amount, and then it says a lot of other things, between the district's funding that we got in the preceding year, which was last year, and this year, this year that we're at, and next year. So what they provide is a calculation of the money that you should have gotten last year per average daily attendance, and they compare it to the money you're gonna get this coming year per average daily attendance, and then they say 30% of this has to be used for compensation, for salary increases, right? And so when we put our numbers into our template, that 30% for United ISD is actually the $8,246,000 you see there on the screen on the presentation. So the other part of the requirement by House Bill 3 having to do with compensation is that we have to prioritize differentiated compensation for the classroom teachers that have more than 5 years experience. Now they say that 75%, I know this is going to be long numbers, 75% of that 30%, of that $8.2 million, we need to use for pay raises for classroom teachers, full-time librarians, full-time counselors, and full-time school nurses. And prioritizing, again, those classroom teachers who have more than 5 years of experience. And so calculating the 75% now, it says that UISD has to at least use almost 6.2 million to give as raises to those individuals that I just mentioned, the classroom teachers, librarians, counselors that are certified under subchapter B, chapter 21, and our school nurses. And so when we put in our numbers, that comes out to about 2,148 per these groups of employees. And so based on this, I think, administration has come up with a recommendation on compensation that meets the letter of the law and also meets probably what we can support in our budget and continuing forward as well for the next year as well.
Let me ask you this real quick. The 2148 that you're referencing, that's the minimum amount of increase for teacher, librarian, counselor, or nurse. And that will put us at the minimum
By law.
requirement by law.
Right,
So-
by this law, House Bill 3, yes.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
When they say salary, does it salary include fringe benefits as well? Do they include that as?
Well, they use the term compensation. So in the law, it's also interpreted that compensation can include any additional benefits. But at this time, I think our recommendation, I think, is strictly salaries.
Yes.
Okay.
You're right, so that was, the law includes any other additional benefits that we put in, any monies that we put in for employee benefits. But I think at this point in time, as I visited with staff, and if we look at our finances, and honestly, I always want to go back and reflect how well our campuses and our departments have done. It's really a tribute to all staff, all the way from our drivers to our custodians to our classroom teachers, administrators, and everybody. I think we are as a family and academically at the end of the day, when you're rated A as a district, it's extremely important. And we anticipate this year we'll be rated A again for the second year. So we looked at our finances. We looked at our finances and we realized, based on what the state did, on year one is the year that we get the biggest amount of revenue from the state. Year two, it's probably not even a fourth of what they're gonna give us in year one. So, but regardless, I met with Tracy King on Tuesday, and of course, he was a little disappointed on that we didn't get as much money as people anticipated that we should. But, my response is, you're right, but I think at the end of the day, we got more than we've ever gotten. So it's been good. It's been good for us. My recommendation for this coming year, for the 1920 school year, that I'm going to recommend to the board of trustees, our beginning pay for classroom teachers go up to $50,200. Our teachers from 1 to 5 years is $2,800. Teachers with 6 years and up, $3,100. Administrators, paras, everybody else is 5%. That would be my recommendation. I think this allows our district to be competitive. I think it's a raise that all employees merit and deserve. And it's probably one of the biggest raises we've been able to give our employees, but we still need to be forward. We've got to be frugal. Got to make sure that this money, whatever little amount of money we get next year, is we're able to, again, bring a balanced budget and try to get some type of adjustment also. But our proposed pay raise for all our employees is, again, $50,200. Beginning teachers, we move that up scale to be competitive. 1 to 5 is $2,800. 6 and up is $3,100. 5% for all paras, hourlies, and 5% for all administrators. That's my recommendation.
I'd like to make a motion.
Second.
Any discussion?
First question, sir.
All right, I will point out, I want to thank every employee. I know the state has been generous, as mentioned. We anticipated a little bit more funds, but again, like Mr. Santos mentioned, it's an amount that's higher than we usually receive per year. So I do want to thank every employee for their efforts, for the continued dedication to the district. And at this moment, I will ask all those in favor of the motion. Right. Motion carries.
Give all our employees. I know that Mr. Gilpin is out of town with his son at A&M. I know Andy's but Mr. Montoya had to go to Austin on a legal issue, and then Mr. Molina is out on personal leave. But they also support all the proposed pay raises that we presented tonight. They totally support it. They support all our employees. So really, it's 7 unanimous board members support all our employees. And again, I want to thank you on behalf of the 7,000 employees.
All right, we'll move on to item 4B, action item as well, approval of district health insurance rates and district contributions.
Yes, I think one of the items that obviously we always want to control prices and rates and all these other things to control our health insurance. We are self-funded. And in order for us to sustain keeping the same rate with the same benefits, we as a district got to put in some money, and obviously the employees got to put in a little portion. But we looked at what's the minimum we can do this year to be able to keep this self-funded policy in good standing. Because what happens if we don't begin to put a little money into it, eventually rates will go up for all the employees. I think we're very competitive. We're probably one of the lowest as far as the premiums on employee-only benefit. And our recommendation, I'm going to let Ms. Dominguez share with you, it's a minimum increase for both employees and the district.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, board members, members of the audience. Once again, my name is Maria Dominguez. I'm the Director of Risk Management. And at this time, we have a recommendation. It is recommended that the United ISD Board approve the district group health insurance rates and district contributions. The Employee Benefits Committee, the EBC, and administration has concluded a review of the district's self-insurance and health plan and is prepared to make employees and district premium rate recommendations for board approval. Insurance rates for the new plan year starting September 1st, 2019 to August 31st, 2020 would be a $5 increase to employee monthly rate for both the core and the core plus plan, a $5 increase for district's monthly contribution per plan, also for the Core and Core Plus. And of course, no changes to the plan currently. In school year 2015-2016, the United ISD Board of Trustees approved the implementation of a self-insured health plan for employees. The 2018-2019 plan year district contribution for both Core and Core Plus state plan increased by $53.20 per employee per month. Employee contribution to Core plan increased $5 per employee per month. Core Plus state plan increased $10 per employee per month. The health plan is completing its 4th year of service and requires establishment of employee and district premium rates for the coming plan year.
So the recommendation is a $5 increase, both for the employee and $5 for the district per month.
Yes, sir, that is correct.
That's our recommendation.
Yeah, I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you said in 18-19, the district contributed 53.20, you said?
Yes, sir,
And the employee at that time also had a $5 increase, or?
Yes, this current year, this plan year, that's the amount that was increased. For the Core plan, it was a $5 increase. For the Core Plus, it was a $10.
$10, and this you're just proposing
Just $5 for both, yes.
I mean, I think that's pretty fair considering that the district in 18-19 paid percentage-wise significantly more at a $5, $10 cost to the employee. And then this year, the plan is gonna remain the same.
Yes, but there's no changes in the plan.
Yeah, and I wanna point out, I know I've seen the figures, the district contribution is at over $400 at this point, right?
Yes, sir.
We're contributing.
408, current rate is 408.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right, is there a motion to take action regarding the approval of district group health insurance rates and district contributions as percentage removed?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Motion carries.
Thank you very much for your support.
Thank you. So moved.